Alright guys, we're back. Shortly we'll be getting into an exciting series, a best of 5 Zerg vs Protoss between Cham and NightMare. Steadfast, what do you think?
I think this is going to be a lot of fun. For me, it wasn't initially the most anticipated series of the day. I was actually I was looking at Nice and Rex and thinking like, oh, that's going to be a good one. And then it ended up being a bit of a bop. And I was thinking that then Young Yakov versus Nice would probably be a bit of a bop in favor of Nice, which I couldn't have been more wrong. It was an incredibly close series, which Young Yakov barely managed to take down. But after you told me that they are a lot more even, because I didn't realize how even NightMare and Cham are, it made me a lot more excited. And then as well, you mentioned that this is a preview for the IEM Katowice round of 36 opening match in the upper bracket. Of course, 16 players going to be battling it out in order to make it into the group stage. Only 4 players will make it through, but it's a double elimination bracket, and they're going to be playing off there. So the fact that this is the first time they've ever played a best of 5 versus one another, and then in like 3 weeks' time, they're going to be playing a best of 3 for huge stakes. It is going to be a really interesting setup and a really cool preview of what they might have in store for one another. And it makes me wonder as well if maybe there might be some mind games that come into play in this series in order to make their time a little bit easier in the upcoming series. I hope we see some funky stuff.
Yeah, so let's just go over that history very quickly that we discussed off stream. So they've played 6 times before. 2 of those times were in best of 1 King of the Hill format, and they both went 1-1 even. And the other times were 4 best of 3s, where they each took 2 series. However, the most recent 2 were won by NightMare, and the most recent of that was at Home Story Cup in December. So big picture, they're even, but maybe recent history is pointing towards NightMare.
Yes, and that kind of makes sense to me because NightMare is, I think he's one of the biggest improvements in the last, I would say, 6 months to a year. I would put Trigger, NightMare, and they're actually, yeah, it's probably them that are the 2 biggest improvements. I think MaxPax is up there too, but he already had a pretty big spike. Maybe, you know, like he started his rise like 2.5 years ago, and it's been like a steady one. But I think that NightMare and Trigger are 2 of the biggest improving players over the past 6 months to a year, and it's been really cool to see. And hopefully that means that well, we're going to see a great series here, but I'm interested to see how Cham can handle a NightMare that has really been on a tear recently.
And we'll be finding out very shortly. First map is Waterfall.
Yeah, this is a pretty, I mean, it's a map that we're reasonably used to at this point. Short rush distance, but of course the high ground third makes it, you know, it makes it okay to take it as a Protoss player. It's relatively small in terms of base counts overall, but I mean, it's become a map that I think everyone's pretty comfortable with. Now, it's going to be interesting to see how NightMare elects to play this one out. He is one of the better players in South Korea in terms of Blink Stalker Micro. Personally, I think I rank him as like the second Blink, like just pure Blink Stalker Micro of any of the Korean players, just behind Hero. But we'll have to see if, you know, he leans into that or if he plays a little bit different. As for Cham, will Cham be able to respond to what is probably going to be a pretty aggressive NightMare? Right, and here we go. Getting into it. Now the captain of Team GP. Spawning down in the bottom left, it is Cham. In the red.
And his opponent on the top right hand side of the map is our 23-year-old South Korean Protoss player, NightMare. Now, a little bit of intro on NightMare, what he's been able to do this year in the OSC system. He played 30 tournaments and he won 7 of them, so it's a very good return. A mix of tournaments. He won some of the Storm Cups. You may have casted them, Steadfast. He won a Rising Star before he then went on to later qualify to GSL to make him ineligible. And he won King of the Hill Games and a Sparkling Tuna Cup. Prior to that, he'd never won an OSC tournament before this year. So big breakthrough there. And it's his second time playing in a World Championship.
Very cool, very cool. It's I do love that we get like a preview of what the players can do on the big stage, and these little tournaments, these relatively, you know, small frequent tournaments like the Storm Cup, like the Sparkling Tuna Cup, they are an excellent way to train and get that competitive footing. And I mean, you know, I'm not going to say that if you win those tournaments, you're going to have fantastic results at major tournaments like, you know, DreamHack Atlanta or DreamHack Valencia. But NightMare had himself a hell of a run at DreamHack Atlanta, and it's very clear to see that this year it was a bit of a precursor to that. Some of what he did in some of those online cups, you know, helps get him that experience. Obviously, the drive is still, it still has to be within the individual player, but getting that experience, even just for smaller competitive tournaments, can make a really big difference, and it absolutely did contribute to his success at DreamHack Atlanta, where he was able to take down, I believe, both Scarlet and Neeb. He took down 2 big non-Korean players in the bracket run, and I think he actually got knocked to the lower bracket and had like a, what was it, like a 9 best of 3 or best of 5 like win streak from the lower bracket. That's just a whole aside, but basically what I'm trying to say is, you know, he really showed a big step up this year, and it's definitely cool to see. Now we're gonna, oh, sorry, go on.
How do you think Cham's year progressed compared to NightMare's?
I mean, Cham has been a good player for a while. Actually, Cham did have a huge year. Actually, yeah, it has been a huge year. He's gonna commit. Yeah. Ooh. Cham was not prepared for the shade to commit here, and he's gonna lose 1. Oh, he might lose 2 drones. Oh, that's so brutal. And the Adept's gonna get out too, with pretty minimal HP damage. That's quite painful, losing 2 drones, really pretty much for free. Will be 4 gate glaives to follow this up, but yeah, sorry, to answer your question there, Cham's year was fantastic actually, because he, unless I'm mistaken, I'm pretty sure this is correct, he won the Latin American regional for the first time. First of all, for the first time, Special didn't win it in like, how many years? I think it's 13 consecutive Latin American victories for Special in the LATAM regional. And Cham, for the first time since, I don't know, like 2016, so I don't know what the year is, but it's been a very long time, Cham was able to actually dethrone Juanito and claim victory there. So a pretty good year for him too.
Yeah, definitely. Huge result up against a long-term rival, as you mentioned.
Now, we got to note something very interesting about this. This is a 4-gate glaives from NightMare. That's not particularly interesting, although he did cut 1 adept from the build, so it's only 7 adepts with glaives, and it's not the quickest. It's actually, the timing's a little bit late here, but he is getting into 2 additional gases at the natural, and he's, immortal already on the way. Cham, though, he does something very interesting against this, which is he likes to skip Ling speed and get a very quick Roach speed with this. Now, this is very good in fighting the adepts, but you can never let them get away from you, because you're never going to be able to run them down until you get that Roach speed. Like, it's a very unpleasant situation. However, if you can manage to deny things, you can find yourself in a very advantageous position if you can get up to that roach speed. Oh, he can kill that pylon. Okay, he was about to kill it, and then he, like, backed away. Okay, now he does actually get it. He's got to be careful here, though. The Immortal and the Adepts are going to be enough to fight these Roaches. Roaches do have speed just kicking in there pretty much in the nick of time to save, you know, actually, maybe all of them. Oh, but actually, if he doesn't pull back, that could be very dangerous. We're going to see a shade forward here, and with the Warp Prism, yeah, he's going to be able to protect that Immortal. This is such a strange position because NightMare is actually very far down in workers. I think even though Cham gets a bit of a bloody nose there, going for some of these pickoffs. Oh, nice force fields right there. You saw that Cham really wanted to dive those sentries, but he gets locked out, and if NightMare picks up those Immortals, he can go hunting. But he's actually just going to use the Glaive Adepts, and that should be all 4 of these Roaches going down. Oh, the force field body block. One of the Roaches does get away, but he gets 3 of them. That's really nice for NightMare, because, I mean, Adepts traditionally aren't supposed to beat Roaches. Oh, oh my god, Cham, what are we doing? Oh, okay, well, that force field from NightMare was ambitious. There was only 1 available. But that could have been a lot worse for Cham. Now, Cham is still just staying on 54 drones. He did get Ling Speed. He's getting +1 missile, and he's getting a Baneling Nest. He's going to be going heavy on the aggression here. Oh, Cham will find these Adepts out in the middle of nowhere. Glaive Adepts are going to shade into the natural. The Queen kind of acting as a bit of a body blocker, helping the Adepts out a little bit, as to will the Evo Chamber. How many drones go down there? He gets 6 drones in total. Now, during all this, we've got Blink coming on in for NightMare. He has gone up to 52 probes, and he's getting more Immortals, getting a DT Shrine. Cham is fully committing on this attack, by the way. Oh, recall. Okay, so NightMare leaves one of the Stalkers, but he realizes he needs to get back home. More importantly than the Stalkers is the Warp Prism to be able to pick up the Immortals. And yeah, he's got an Observer. That's what he's seen this with. Force field's not great, actually. Actually, very sloppy, to be honest. Yeah, Cham's found himself in a great position here. Ooh, Corrosive Vials just barely getting dodged. NightMare, he's going to lose this 3rd base. Cham, I think he should just back away after he kills this. Yeah, he's going to... So he starts up 2 more drones. He's only on 3 bases, so it's not like he's in a runaway economy position with this. But look at this concave out of Cham. You do not want to approach this as NightMare. Now, yeah, I'm really loving how Cham has approached this first game. Disruptors, though, are going to be very scary to deal with. NightMare does see Cham's army. That Observer is huge. Oh, Disruptor. Oh, God, no!
Not looking. Big hit.
8 kills right there. That's a value Disruptor. But if NightMare can't get out and get onto 3 bases again, like... things get very difficult for him. Now, Cham, okay, I was going to say, he needs to head home pretty soon. Even with that huge concave, you don't want to get too much, you don't want to do too much there. DTs did get in, by the way, into the natural. Did it get into the 3rd as well? I think he only built 2 DTs. Oh, okay, in the main base as well. This does drive Cham back. But Cham also now has an infestation pit done. He can get into a hive if he's so inclined. There it is. Starts it on up. He built Overseers here instead of Spores. And this DT is actually snuck around. If it gets into that mineral line, you know, it could kill 10, 15 drones. This can still swing very suddenly in favor of NightMare. Especially if Cham then rushes things and, you know, decides to go for a big attack, attacks into like 3 or 4 disruptors with force fields. He could lose that army very quickly. So it's going to be important that he doesn't, you know, just panic. Behind all this, we've got a 4th base done for Cham. He's up to now, well, about to be up to 70 drones, which is, considering the game state, pretty decent. NightMare, though, he's going to want to move in here before Hive is done, I think. Ooh, DT. Okay, it's going in. Gonna be able to swipe down a few drones. Oh man, this is... He gets 6 drones. That's not bad. That's better than nothing, but Cham cleaned it up pretty quickly. We do have Overlord speed, by the way, and there's no upgrades for NightMare. Oh my god. It's +2 missile with +3 on the way. There's not even a... No, there is a Forge. NightMare just never got upgrades. He just starts +1 as his opponent starts +3 missile. We never see that in PvZ. Now, a lot of Cham's army is so far out of position. The push is coming here for NightMare, and the Vipers are not on the field yet. Oh, this is the timing that NightMare is looking for here. And at the very least, he's going to kill this base basically for free. Cham's got to be so careful right now. He's got this army on the right side. He's not bunching everything up. One of the Vipers did get canceled right there. Huge corrosive piles. He actually killed 2 of the disruptors, I think. The other 2 disruptors get decent shots. Cham now swings in with the other part of his army. Oh, that's a big Baneling connection on the sentries there. Third disruptor is still alive. There's no disruptor shots available. Vipers are desperately trying to suck up to get that energy. Huge blink forward into the Roach Ravager. And actually, I think NightMare's just got too much. Disruptor shot. Oh, connects on a couple of units. Blinding Clouds are way too late to turn the tide. And NightMare, turning water into wine with that game, finds his timing and gets the victory.
Yeah, it seemed he was behind all the way until we attacked the base. Cham just having the army separated, the second one was ineffective.
Yeah, it even up at the end when the corrosive biles landed on the disruptors, I thought maybe there was a chance, but yeah, I don't know. That got out of hand so quickly.
And once NightMare had moved from that destroyed base down into the front of the natural, he was just cutting apart any sort of reinforcements from the hatchery pathways anyway, so it was very difficult for Cham to regroup. Yeah,
absolutely. I almost wonder if Cham was like hiding the army on purpose and hoping that NightMare would, overcommit, thinking he'd killed all of Cham's stuff, but that feels like such a dangerous way to play, because that only works if, they only kill a certain portion of your army of the first one, and then you swing in and you, like, let's say you keep 60% of your first army alive, and they blow all their disruptor shots, they blink forward aggressively, then you like spring the trap with army number 2, and it's like, oh, okay, now you've lost 40% of your first army, but that was only 20% of your total army, and your opponent has fully overextended into the remaining 80%. But he lost like almost his entire first army. He lost like 60 or 70, maybe even 80% of that first army. And it's weird to get into like percentages of percentages, but if that was the game plan from Cham, yeah, I think it backfired as much as anything.
Because as you pointed out, he had a huge upgrade advantage. You'd rather just fight heads up.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. But I mean, even still, like, even on creep, the disruptors, like, they can run down roaches, they can run down ravagers, if you don't run away like instantly. And it was enough disruptors to keep firing out shots. Cham, if he gets up to those Vipers, by the way, and he has his army all together, like that game goes completely differently. Because without the disruptors, and if it just being, Blinkstalker Immortal versus Roach Ravager Ling Bane, especially with 2 missile upgrades on a big portion of the army, yeah, Cham is going to smash that fight almost definitely. There's almost no amount of micro that you can do, but like the disruptors just change the calculus so much. All right, here we go. Spawning down in the bottom right for Team GP, it is Cham.
And winner of that last map, in the top left-hand side of the map, our Korean Protoss player is NightMare.
And it is worth noting that up until just like 2 weeks ago, NightMare and Cham were actually teammates. So I don't know how much they would have practiced together, just because realistically, you probably don't want to practice cross-server too much. But at the very least, they probably discussed strategies. They definitely would have known each other's play styles pretty well. And that can definitely be something that that may play into this game a little bit. But we'll see. We'll see if that is the case. It felt like Cham had a pretty good understanding of how NightMare played. Like he approached things in a very academic way there, like the counter to the way he decided to counter the 4-gate glaives worked out quite well for him. The setup to deny the third base worked really well right up until he lost 8 roaches to a disruptor, which did not work out well. But you know, if he had managed to just not take that big disruptor shot, yeah, I think I like that setup a lot better for Cham. Like I think I didn't really talk about that much, but like that's 16 supply, you know, like that's a lot of army that he just kind of lost for, well, didn't kind of lose for nothing. He lost for absolutely nothing. Like there was absolutely no gain from that, other than seeing that your opponent has disruptors. But that's not the way to find out, you know?
Yeah, so this map, to me, it looks like a little bit easier for the Protoss to take a quick third. Is that something that might happen?
I think most likely we'll see. We'll probably see that play out, especially with the Stargate play. It's very uncommon for players to open up with a single Stargate and not take a quick third. It can happen. You can go for, you know, some weirdness, but the thing about going for anything weird off of a quick Stargate play is that you usually still want to you usually still want to take that third nexus to like mask anything weird. So let's say you go for a Stargate single Oracle play into a quick Twilight Council and a 4-gate Glaives follow-up. You still want that third base in order to show your opponent like, hey, I'm playing normally, you know, like don't pay any attention to the man behind the curtain. Like this is normal play. Don't look at me. So yeah, you're almost always gonna see a quick third base off of an Oracle opening. And in this case, we are gonna see at least 2 Oracles, probably 3. So that build that I'm talking about, it's very unlikely to come on down. Cham, though, he's going to pump out 10 additional layings and might try and go for a little bit of a delay on his opponent's third base. NightMare trying to sneak in here with the Oracle. Ooh, but Cham's Queens are in excellent position here. And they're going to be able to deny this from, well, really getting anything done. Meanwhile, the Double Adept on the other side, going to be able to find the first couple of layings. And that's pretty nice because now things become a lot more difficult for Cham to get anything done. Oh, NightMare really wants that second drone. He does dive for it and barely keeps the Oracle alive. Meanwhile, second Oracle at the third base. We'll find 2 additional drones. Takes a lot of hull damage on these Oracles, but once again, the most important thing is keeping them alive. As long as you keep them alive, you're kind of chilling. You're kind of fine. We're going to see a quick Twilight Council behind us, and it is just 2 Oracles. This, well, no. He's already gotten the gases at the natural. Yeah, this is probably going to be a very quick Blink Stalker follow-up. I wouldn't be surprised if this translates into, like, a really heavily committed 3-base Blink timing, just because of how quick that Twilight Council is and how good NightMare is with that. And as I say that, we've already got 3-4 additional gateways coming on in. Yeah, this is looking like we're going to see some big aggression coming in from NightMare. Oh, there's no Spore at the natural. Ooh. Oh my god. Oh, that Oracle. Flirting with death right there.
Both of them. Deep in the red.
Yeah, you gotta be very mindful of that. Now, this is interesting for NightMare. He didn't lose any of his early adepts, And he's going to elect to warp in a couple more, and he's going to go for a little 6 Adept pressure. Cham could take some damage from this. He's building a fair number of lanes. Oh my goodness, he's starting a Spire. Oh, that's... Oh, nice positioning here on the Adepts. They will shade into the Zerglings, but a couple of them getting into the mineral line regardless. Now, he doesn't elect to target down drones. He's just going to let them die. He's actually going back into the natural, where he loses one of the oracles. That was very expensive for NightMare. He does scout the Spire. Oh, wait, hang on. What? Okay, I just checked his vision. It showed that it was canceled. Okay, that has to be a visual bug. Losing that map control, by the way, means he can't establish this pylon, and this big blink timing that he wants to go for is going to be slowed down substantially. Infestation Pit is being built by Cham. Cham, with the quick roach speed. Oh, this could be very good for the Mexican Zerg player here. Now, the Blink Stalker micro, honestly, the minerals here, oh, that's going to be a really big problem for NightMare here, or for Cham, I should say. Because it's going to be extremely difficult to prevent that from, them from just blinking behind it. Oh, but actually, we're going to see Cham taking the fight initially. A couple of transfuses being used. Already one Stalker going down, but Cham is going to very quickly find that, I mean, his units just don't trade as well. As I say that, oh wow, one of the Stalkers actually dying after it blinked out. The shot somehow translating through there. But as we see, NightMare is already whittling down his opponent's roach count significantly. Lings are going to swing in from the back. Stasis Ward, oh, well, only goes off on 2 Lings. But NightMare actually losing a lot of momentum here. The slow warp in pylon really not getting the job done. Cham able to target down a lot of those low HP Stalkers as well. And it feels like, oh, that blink forward might have been a mistake. Yeah, it definitely was. There's a lot more roaches than he anticipated. Cham kind of weathering the storm here. And now he's going to have +1 missile. He's got a hive done. He's getting adrenal glands. The +1 Carapace confuses me a little bit. But, I mean, I guess it's something. NightMare, oh, losing 2 Stalkers right there to snipe a Queen. I mean, this is still scary, but resources lost shows that Cham is ahead. What was that blink? He blinks aggressively forward. Oh, NightMare, I was lauding his Blink Stalker micro, and there we go. We got some good Blink Stalker micro towards the end, but he is not... He has done as much bad micro as he's done good micro. And that's a big problem. Now, we do see Ravagers coming on out here. With the low HP roaches, I like that very much. Ooh, NightMare, okay, he's going to start individually microing back these Blink Stalkers. There we go, that's what we're looking for. It feels like... Oh, actually, hang on. Cham does have a few more Ravagers coming on in. NightMare, oh, as a lot of his Stalkers blink to the back, they were low on HP, and then the other round had to blink away and kind of left them exposed. NightMare is not at that critical mass, and I mean, once we get 1-1, things get very scary. Oh, that's a very aggressive blink forward here from NightMare. He will be able to target down a few of his opponent's roaches, but he's super deep onto creep. He needs to get the hell out of dodge. And a very awkward blink back to the left. There's so much creep here for Cham. That's going to be like 5 dead Stalkers. Yeah, resources lost is way in the face. Oh, okay. Cham almost biling himself there. I wonder if he was trying to like disguise it a little bit. Oh, a couple of roaches on a bad rally, but overall, Cham has played this out very well. And I mean, yeah, NightMare just hasn't gotten the job done, more so than anything. And I mean, it is played on West server, so it's not perfect ping conditions by any stretch, but he did choose to go for this build. Now, 2-1, well, +2 weapons is about to complete for Cham, and NightMare is still just on single forge. It's not even halfway done, actually. And now Cham going to move across the map. He's going to look to deny this base. He might end up losing all these units, which would be expensive, but it might even be worth it. And actually, I think he is still going to be able to trade out Oh, blink back to try and save. Yeah, I guess to save all the stalkers. But now we've got Cham muscling through the natural expansion. He's going to force the recall on out, snipes down the cyber core. And I mean, yeah, he's just got, at this point, I think he's hit critical mass. 2-1 versus 0-0. Yeah, he's just taking down stalkers so quickly. Nice micro there from NightMare to keep some of those stalkers alive. And Cham will be forced back. But once again, the fourth base gets denied. There's no, like, disruptor tech or anything. We've even got +3 missile now on the way. I feel like Cham has just traded far too well. He's actually trading cost efficiently against a player that's gone mass blink stalker. That's not supposed to happen. And if it does, it's extremely bad news for the Protoss. Now, this Zealot run by could get some work done on the bottom side. But no, there's enough roaches here in position to completely shut this down. Meanwhile, NightMare had to blink all of his stalkers to the right side, I guess, to just avoid the army. But now he's fighting, yeah, 1-0 versus 2-1. And another aggressive blink forward. He'll focus down the Ravagers. Well, initially he did. There we go. He gets them now. But it's a 50 army supply lead. And this is, you know, Cham's playground right now. Another Zealot run by trying to find an opening on the outside. Ooh, force fields are going to come on in. There are no Ravagers. This will be a nice little trade here for NightMare. But that feels like the first nice trade in a long time. And he's still trading cost inefficiently, even worse than before. Now we've got a robotics bay coming on in. But Cham, look at this. He's going to be on 3-3 eventually. That is nuts. Cham loving his roaches, loving his upgrades. And he does want to close this game out before things get messy. Oh, nice force fields here from NightMare. But even still, like, building the sentry slows down his tech so much. Battery overcharge is going to get popped. Cham, oh man, these are some great force fields. Look at this. A little 6-pack of force fields right there. Never seen the force field abs before. But I mean, even with this happening, NightMare is barely at 100 supply. And Cham has been just consistently battering him, bruising him. If this robotics facility goes down, that's a big problem. The Hydras are joined up. They've got their groove spines. They're going to be absolutely juiced Hydras with soon-to-be 3-2. And meanwhile, Cham on the right side. Oh, big blink forward there from NightMare. Cham gets a stalker for his troubles. Yeah, we've got the robotics facility going down 6 HP. Just sneeze on it. Sneeze on it, please. There we go. First disruptor will hit the field, but it's going to die instantly. +3 Hydras do not mess around. They are strong shooting units. They hit hard. And there we go. The blink forward into the +3 Hydras. No armor on these stalkers. Even with the battery overcharge, he's almost burning through it. And that's going to be all she wrote in game number 2. NightMare, he's fighting on so desperately. But Cham had his number in game number 2. Very well played from the Team GP captain.
Yes, really well called, Steadfast. There was a lot of continuous action on multiple sides of the map there. But yeah, I think NightMare had his window early to try and do some damage, but he was just sort of engaging with roaches on and off. No economic damage achieved, and then Cham had the upgrades and the mass production to overwhelm.
Yeah, and like it looks easy what Cham did there after he, you know, got the initial jump and shut down his opponent's attack. But I can assure you it is not. Overcommitting off creep versus Protoss is so easy to do. It is ridiculously easy to just overcommit, and you know, you have a small lead that you built for yourself. In that game, it wasn't that small of a lead. It was a pretty decent lead. But you have, let's say, like a 20-30 supply lead, and all of a sudden you get 10-15 roaches. You just overextend a little. They get caught on the map. Your opponent blink micros better than you were expecting. Maybe you take some force fields at an awkward choke. You lose 5 roaches to start the engagement. Then all of a sudden, your opponent runs you down and kills off like, 20 roaches for like 4 stalkers, and very quickly the game shifts momentum. So the fact that Cham never let his opponent do that and constantly teched up during all of that is very impressive. He played that out with, I would use the term poise to describe that, with outstanding poise and incredible determination. Very well done from Cham to make sure that he did not give up that early lead that he got. And let's see if he can keep his success going as we get into game number 3. Spawning down to the bottom left for Team GP, it is Cham.
And on the top right hand side, the blue Protoss player is NightMare. Series now tied 1-1. We've got ourselves a good game. Let me talk a little bit about Cham since I covered NightMare in the previous series. Cham is a very decorated player in the OSC system. He's actually won the most ever tournaments in a season before, which was 68 tournaments won in 1 year. That was in 2020. He's actually also the 6th and 7th place player on the list, so he's won a lot over the years with OSC, and he normally pumps out the games as well. He has the record of the 7th most tournaments ever played in a year, which is 184. That was again in 2020, and that year he had an amazing 78.5% series win rate.
Oh my god.
Indeed.
5.
Very hard to do because you're normally playing against, evenly matched or better players. This is his 6th World Championship, the equal 3rd amount ever, and he's been fairly successful. He's placed in top 8 in 4 of those World Championships, the 2nd most ever, and his highest placing was 3rd in Season 8 2 years ago.
Oh wow. And sorry, go on.
I was going to say I've got a few more stats to add, but maybe I'll save them for game 4 because he's had a big career and he's only 25, so hopefully many more years of StarCraft to come.
I mean, it looks like a pretty standard early game. If you want to keep pumping them out, it's up to you, or we can save them for the next game. It's up to you.
Okay, I'll keep them rolling. Cham has finished top 4 in the yearly rankings, so that's from January to December, all those hundreds of tournaments. He's finished in the top 4 players 4 times, and he's finished of those first, he's done it twice, and 3rd twice. So he's really performed over the years in the OSC system. He's claimed the most ever bounties, which we talked about in an earlier series today, that bounty system is if you beat someone in a best of 3 plus series who has a bounty on them, you collect, say, $50. It's varying amounts based on the player that we set. He's collected 23 of those, the most ever, so he's raked in a bit of money there. He has 6 career Masters Cup titles, which is a prestigious online StarCraft event running since 2011. What else? He's a regular King of the Hill player. He's played 68 maps, won 40 of those, with a best win streak of 9, and he's finished as the King 5 times. So he's really good in that 1-to-1 planning. You don't know who's coming next, you just roll into the next game. He's very adaptable, you could say.
Yes. I would definitely agree with adaptable as a great way to describe Cham, and dangerous, adaptable and dangerous, because he plays his own style, for better or for worse, and oftentimes for better. You already see it a little bit with his opening. Oh, this is a little bit painful for him right here. He will stack up the drones, but he's going to lose 5 drones to the first Oracle. That's a really strong start for NightMare, especially after the initial Adept. It takes a lot of hull damage, but he got a 6th. Wait, where did he get the 6th drone? Oh, this Adept gets in. Was that 2 Adepts? It was. Okay, so he dives for a few more Lings. 3 more Lings and a drone. Okay, that's not as worth it. Hang on, how many Double Oracle. Okay, we've got another quick Templar or Twilight Council here. This might be more of the same, actually, from NightMare with the Blink Stalker play. He might be saying, you know what, I don't like how that turned out. I want to try it again. Oh, nice. Oh, wow, that Adept. Oh, Cham should have just killed it. One hit away. He should have just killed that off. It's not really, even if he'd lost all 3 lings, I think it would have been worth it to just kill that Adept. But, I mean, it's not a big deal. But yeah, we're going to be seeing another big commitment to Blink play here. No Forge. NightMare did not get a gateway onto the map in the previous game. He was only warping it off as a slow warp in Pylon. But look at this. He's cut at 48 workers. This is basically a fake third base at this point. This is so massively committed here. And, man, Cham... He's got a Roach Warren. He's getting +1. Well, he's about to have a Roach Warren. He's getting +1 missile, but he's droned up to 60. It's going to be 68 drones, getting a 4th base. This timing from NightMare hits so damn fast. It's not even 6 minutes yet, and he's already on 11 Stalkers, getting that proxy gateway this time. Yeah, this looks way scarier than the previous game. Ooh, I like this too. He's going to be able to revelate and clear up some of this creep. Already going to clear up all of the creep basically outside of this base. And as this dissipates, it's going to be extremely difficult for the Roaches to find a cost-efficient engagement. They won't have speed. They're not going to be able to jump on the Stalkers this time. And NightMare, I think he's going to be a lot more mindful of his Blink Micro this game. Already 1 Roach getting targeted down. This looks so scary for Cham. I really don't know how he can hold this. Especially once the creep really does fully dissipate. Nice job for NightMare. Steps forward, snipes down one of those queens with high energy, and this time he is playing so much cleaner with the Blink Micro. Has yet to lose a Stalker, and yeah, this is the Blink Micro I was looking for from him. It's a supply lead for Cham, but it's basically all in workers. If we look at the army value, it is more than double in favor of NightMare. Cham, he's popping out a lot of Roaches all at once, and he will have that Roach speed finishing on up. Good usage of the Corrosive Biles, but huge blink forward on to those Ravagers, recognizing that the Biles are on cooldown, sees an opportunity, sees that the Ravagers were exposed, and is able to take them down, and now we'll switch back to the individual Blink Micro. That's the kind of blink that you want to see from a Protoss player. That's the kind of blink that pays big dividends. And now... he's even got this stasis ward behind it. Great micro from NightMare. This is what I was looking for. And snipes down the hatchery. Individual Roaches being targeted down as well. Oh, that stasis ward almost just trapped all those Roaches. And I feel like at this point, we've pretty much hit the breaking point. NightMare, he's not going to transition out of here. He wants to end the game here and now. And he's even going to find a couple of Lings and a Roach that pop out. Does maybe commit a little bit too far onto creep here. But actually, no, he's just got the Blink Micro ready to go. And yeah, he's going to be able to, I believe, ice this game out here. Oh, Corrosive Bile. That connects on the Oracle and a Stalker. Does not matter. NightMare. Well, he delivers with that Blink Micro and gets game number 3.
Yeah, that hit hard and fast. No doubt about it.
Yeah, that's the kind of build that gives Zerg players nightmares, you know? Like that's him. That wasn't even me trying to make a pun. That's just him living up to his name. He is truly a scary player. All right, game number 4. What's the map gonna be?
2000 Atmospheres, another map from our expanded tournament map pool, where we have the 7 ladder maps and 3 old maps voted in by players and tournament organizers.
Very nice, very nice. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if we see NightMare go for it again. Obviously, game number 2, it did not work out for him. Those Adepts were rather unsuccessful in the third base, and they slowed down his timing a decent amount. But when he switched over to basically just the pure blink micro, pure aggression, I mean, felt like there was not a whole lot that Cham could really do there. He just struggled with that, and yeah, just great stuff out of NightMare there. Now, it'll be interesting to see if maybe we see a switch back to normalcy, I guess. But yeah, we'll get into game and see if that happens. And we're in game now, yeah?
We're in game, yep.
Awning up at the top right for Team GP, it is Cham in the red.
And in the bottom left-hand side of 2000 Atmospheres, our South Korean Protoss player is a NightMare with exemplary blink control and amazing timing in that last game. Will he back it up on this map like you're thinking, or try something different? Let's find out.
Yeah, I kind of hope so. So against that blink timing, most Zerg players are opening up with +1 melee, a very quick Evo chamber and a fast +1 melee when you see the quick Oracle play. And the +1 melee lings can oftentimes trade very well against the blink stalkers. It's not easy. It's definitely not easy, but it is very possible. It's very doable to use those lings. Roaches, of course, they're sturdy units, but they do take that bonus damage from stalkers, and they have a more difficult time breaking through, and they don't really come online until they get that roach speed. And roach speed takes a lot longer to get up to. So Cham, I wonder if he switches gears and goes for +1 melee first because of who he's playing up against, or if he's going to stick to his guns and try and go roaches. I hope that NightMare goes for this push again, to be honest, because I think if executed pretty much perfectly, I don't think the roach play is the wave, you know? I don't think that's the best way to respond, but we'll see. We'll see how things play out. Like I said, they know each other pretty well, so there could be some mind games that come into play. And once again, they will be playing in the at IEM Katowice, very soon. So while yes, it will be a different patch, the openings are still going to be valid. It's not going to be a drastic change. But as I say that, NightMare going to switch things up. He's going to go for the quick Twilight Council. Now, once again, we have to ask the question: is it going to be Glaives or is it going to be DTs?
Well, he's shown both in this series, yeah. So I think he'll have to open Glaives and then try and sneak in a DT later.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. There are variants for players, obviously. Oh man, Cham losing his Overlord. That's actually really sloppy. Looks like he was focused on the other side. Yeah, loses 2 lings to the Adept, and then loses to the Overlord. Is actually brutal, because now he's supply blocked. Oh man. And it's a bit of a rough block. Not that bad because he wasn't on a ton of larva right away, but it was the second Overlord that he didn't have right away that really hurt. And now this Dark Shrine is going to be coming on in. We've got the Chrono Boost on the robotics facility. Cham, the thing about losing that Overlord too is he didn't get to see if there was a second or third gateway unit, if there was a third gateway unit produced or not. This looks extremely scary, and I love what NightMare is doing right here. He's showing the same thing he showed when he did Glaive Adepts before. So he opened up with the 3 Adepts last time and pushed them across the map, and now he's going for another little push with 3 Adepts. And these lings, by the way, it's a huge ling flood out of Cham. Like, he's building a lot of Zerglings right now, but he doesn't have any spores. And if NightMare just goes for a hatch, he kills that hatch 100%. And okay, Cham starts up a spore here, but that is, well, we should just see DTs, kills a couple of drones, goes for the spore, and that's a dead hatch. There's no saving it. Absolute. Don't. No. What are you, NightMare? What are you doing? It's free. It's so free. No. What are you doing? Now Cham actually gets a chance to save this. Why? The Spore Crawler's going to mosey on over. I think he still kills the hatch, but... Oh, it actually might be kind of close here. Transfuse is going to come on down. Oh, NightMare. No, not like this. DTs. Okay, he gets the hatch, but he has to sack all 3 DTs. That was... Oh... That was so silly. He could have just clicked it and saved all 3 DTs, taken no damage on the War Prism, not needed to recall, and gone immediately into an Archon drop. Instead, he loses 3 DTs, has to recall, and takes some damage on that War Prism to boot. So, ugh. I mean, it's still a success, but it should have been so much more of a success. That is... Oh, that's really painful. I'm trying to figure out what he was doing with those DTs. Like, I understand if he'd sent 1 DT to check and see if a spore was being repositioned, because that could have happened. That could have happened, but sending all 3 DTs off the hatch, that really kind of undid a free win. Oh, nice cancel right there from Cham, recognizing the DT. Well, I mean, the DTs were attacking his lanes. Oh, Cham actually losing like 6 or 7 links. I still think that this is a lead and probably a very significant one for NightMare. But when you kill the hatch for free at this level of play, it's almost a guaranteed free win, just because the follow-up is going to be so devastating. I still think that he got more than enough done to make this worth it. And, well, to his credit, he's going for that blink play once again. Only on 7 gates. So it won't be as dedicated, but it is... There's no Forge. Well, actually, sorry, it just won't hit as hard. It is still very dedicated. Although this time it has a War Prism. And he's still spending all his money, so... This looks incredibly scary for Cham. Oh, Ravager. The Cocoons have so much armor. He does still get the kill. Overseer gets sniped down as well. And that means these DTs setting up between the bases. Oh, they're going to be able to feast on reinforcements. Very nice little move from NightMare. He actually puts them on hold position. I love that. Oh, look at this. He creates a mini wall on the right side. And NightMare... Well, actually, hang on. We do see the Overseer popping on out. Good job from Cham to get that out. And that's going to let the reinforcements get back over here. Drone's going to get pulled. Roach speed not quite done. NightMare... Oh, he actually shot his own Stalker there after blinking everything back. Kills one of his own Stalkers. A little bit of a misstep. But this position is very scary to attack into as the Zerg. And actually, we're just going to see NightMare blink aggressively forward onto his opponent's army. Is this an overcommitment? It might have been. Oh, Cham actually able to get some pretty good trades there. Does lose 6 drones, but the quick drone pull kind of saved his bacon. Still, NightMare could snowball this game right here and now. The only thing is that he doesn't have an observer. He's not clearing creep at all, but he's got so many blink stalkers. And yeah, there's that trademark blink micro that we're looking for. NightMare. He might still just... Yeah, no, I think he has just outmuscled his opponent at this point. He can't be doing any more YOLO blinks like that, any more patience blinks. But as long as he blink micros like he did, well, he's going to go for it again. Actually, no, there's just not even enough HP on this Roach army. Yeah, NightMare's just going to overpower him. And he's going to move on to the next round. Cham fights on valiantly, but, I mean, it's just too much damage in the early game when you lose that 3rd hatch. Even when you kill all the DTs, it's still a lot. And NightMare, he's going to be able to close this one out. Cham might stay in this game for a little while longer, but, yeah, there's nothing for it. He's lost too many drones, too many units. NightMare can trade way too cost efficiently, and GG gets called. NightMare moves on to the next round.
Very well played, and that ends their deadlock of being even on maps and series. So